I want a bird to bite me, and that's final. Hello and welcome to Sagas of Sundry Question Answers. I'm Dan Casey, and we're here to talk about Sagas of Sundry Goblin Mode. Folks, this is a wild episode, and fortunately I'm not here by myself. I'm with my amazing cast. We have
Danielle Radford,
Amy Vorpahl,
Nguyen.
And we also had the amazing Ify Nwadiwe join us this episode. I loved his character so much. We're going to get into it. But before we go any further, spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen the most recent episode of Goblin Mode, you know what to do. Cancel your plans, make better choices, then come back here. I'll wait. Okay, we're back. All right. So we are like 9 episodes into our main story now as of this episode.
Ooh, yeah.
And I just want to check in before we get into the specifics. How are y'all feeling about where we're at from where we started? How are you feeling about where we are in the campaign right now?
It feels really good. This is, out of everything that we've done, the most overtly, we're on our way to go do the most overtly heroic thing that our characters have done for the entire show. And so that's really exciting to like watch them come into going from being strictly concerned about Lairbiness and Unzug to broadening their perspective outside of their own stuff, even with like, obviously there's a bit of like the romantic interest and things like that, but also Tippy's already had concerns about some of the blowing stuff up and probably like killing some dudes or whatever.
Morality, I think, is what you were thinking.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
The quotes around all of the words.
Morality.
Morality.
Okay.
You know, like baby stuff for babies.
Yeah. Eating babies, not eating babies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the biggest moral debates. Apparently, anything goes in the sky.
But yeah, so it's really interesting now that we're getting into some real, they've kind of shook off the brand newness of coming out of the lair, and they're starting to become a little bit more integrated and part of the world, meeting people, making relationships.
Making relationships. Like you now have this whistle that connects you to something. You're like bound to something beyond just Unzug's lair, and I love that. I love that for the characters. Like I know that you met some people in Nakbreka, but there are arguably friends or people that spoke to you like you were actual
people we've been through something with, that like there's that like bonding through adversity that forms, and in this case a heist, and then
I think it's really cool because like I feel like as a player, I'm so excited by all of the storytelling we're doing collectively, but also just like it's cool to feel like naturally an arc is forming, or like naturally Tippy is growing, and like I'm not even expecting it or like trying to force it. It's just our choices as a group, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm always like, what are we gonna do today? Like, what's gonna stress Amy out the most today?
And how do we get there quicker?
How do we get there quicker?
Don't worry, we always find the path of least resistance by offering the most resistance.
It's crazy that these 3, to me, bumbling idiots like who dug their way out of a spike trap into a spider cave is now like captaining an airship that is.
We just jumped through a portal to potentially another plane of reality.
Jumped is a harsh word.
You jumped.
You guys jumped, right?
one of my favorite ends of an episode. You just get pushed into plot. Sorry. But I also want to say, like, as the dungeon master, it is really cool to see the pace gargantuanly pick up. Also to know this lore and to know where I wanted to drop it, and just so you know, I've dropped so much lore faster than I thought I was going to. And that's very exciting for you all, and that's the nature of checks by nature of like everything that you've done, and it constantly is a reminder to me that even though, yes, you're bumbling, yes, you're just minions, you actually are just bona fide heroes. So it's a math that I'm doing in my head constantly, and it's playing out really, really nicely. I mean, you're over here saying we take the path of least resistance and all of that, and at the same time, Tippy chose and demanded to become a lycanthrope. Specifically,
I want a bird to bite me, and that's final.
That's final.
Quote. Tippy.
Listen, it was half like it'd be cool to be something that could fly, but then
Oh, I know where you're going.
quickly realizing how not cool birds are.
The rocks in the stomach thing really messed you
And then,
up.
like actual real panic as both Tippy and player of like, I've ruined this character that I've worked so hard.
Everyone's like, by the way,
I'm making
irreversible.
irreversible.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of love the idea that Tippy especially, we've been joking about how Tippy's like a little baby, but this is kind of Tippy's puberty.
Yes.
And so not only is Tippy going, now you've got feathers in weird places, it's also like you're literally getting your driver's permit.
I'm getting my wings, right?
Yeah.
Wait till you learn about the were-bees.
Yeah. I love that, like, because in my mind, all of our were-beasts have been so cool, like our were-people, right?
Yeah.
We've had a shapeshifter and a were-bear and like a what was it, were-hog?
A were-boar.
A were-boar.
Jackal
Okay,
were.
a jackal were.
A were-bat. A were-crocodile.
Yeah, and I
A
was like,
were-mit.
and in my mind, I was like,
yes.
were-bird's gonna be like a hawk or it's gonna be a
Well, because they said,
swallow.
oh yeah, we have a were-eagle, then the most wretched creature in existence,
Yeah.
bug,
Yeah.
a man described as just circles, comes out and then gives you the chomp. And
Yeah.
then you're like, by the way,
then I was just
he's
like-
not an eagle. We forgot
The
to
image
mention,
of,
we
like-
lie to this man. We tell him
Every
he's an
day.
eagle, but he's not. He's a
not.
swallow.
It's just like the image of like a bird just like beaking somebody. Just to give them
it
lycanthropy
does.
is
Just to give you-
incredible.
It makes me want to offer everyone everything all the time and just, have consequences that come along with it. But you do get to fly a ship. That
I
is
do get
part
to fly
of
ship.
True.
That was really the big concession
Yeah.
in terms of like, do I
Yeah.
want this forever? I get to fly ship, which feels kind of artificery. Feels kind of
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Tippy would want to do that, but he's also a freak bird round thing.
Yeah, he sure is. And we got some closure with Raytelg and Smelly.
Yeah, I also just I loved Captain Raytelg. He
Oh,
was
so
such-
cool.
Iffy is just one of my favorite people in general, but also just he's
Yeah.
such a savvy player.
He really is. It's like he is the exact right amount of random. And then it's like he'll go deep, not wide. It's like he's got his one thing, his pitches. Every time he goes, okay, I'm gonna do this or make a dexterity, and I'm like, oh my god. Like there's a part of me that panics a little bit because I'm like, this could change how I view the marks, and it did. But it always is like it's in such good hands, and it's well thought out. There's a reason behind it, and he's just such a talented comedian and improviser.
So
that,
good.
Yeah, it's hard to say no to.
And that was a delicate balancing act as well because, he has to come in here and like seamlessly fit in with the group for like a
gosh.
short arc, but also he's representing a faction that had to dump so much major lore on us.
I know. I felt that that tension of like, gosh, I'm really giving him a lot, and he handled it expertly. I had nothing to be afraid of. But I like the idea that he was a guy in charge too.
Yeah.
Like if he
Yes.
does
Yeah.
take up space. So I don't know. He freaking killed it. He was always the right
It was so
choice.
satisfying to see his character introduction, and be like, God, this guy's so cool. And then he was so cool in the fight.
really
Like
cool.
he beat ass.
Yeah.
And then, now he's got a sick polycule going for him. Like,
It's
come
also
on.
polycules aside, it's also just awesome to have, like, we are by nature, like, I think when we were coming into the show, our characters are meant to be kind of like flimsy and
Yes.
like
Yeah.
we're trying to rise above the fact that we should be like realistically we should just be one shot by adventurers in most scenarios. But I love the idea that there's just this badass shape-shifting guy with a metal arm and a glaive who just saved our bacon and
Yeah.
like believed in us and like pumped us up. It's like it's like every shonen anime that I love, there's always this like mentor character, like badass swordsman that the other people idolize. And I'm like, that was Iffy's character to a T.
Absolutely. And no one better to play that too, to balance the cool factor and the absolute power with like deep emotion too.
Well, I don't want to speak for myself, but I was feeling some deep emotion when I had that flashback
Yeah.
sequence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much happened this episode.
Yeah.
So much happened.
Yeah, I learned that I let the love of my life, presumably, or my lover, got horribly transformed into a nightmarish creature because I wasn't there for her. So that's going to be a lot for Phibbs to reckon with, and I think that's just it's nice. And not to say that his life has been characterized by loss, but I like that in the very first episode, like, he has to deal with the death of his best friend, and that leads to something positive in the form of Loof. This is something he's still struggling to find the positive for, but I'm excited to continue to unpack that, because I know we like to do a lot of banter and keep things light, and we do a lot of bits, but I like that there's still the space for this, like, character growth in between them.
I wonder, I guess, no, I'm not going to even ask this. I was like, what do you think your lives were? But I don't know that there's enough information, and it doesn't matter.
It was one bad picnic after another.
Yes. Okay, I actually want to bring up something that I have been just remiss in not talking about, which is the looks that Cece Anderson and Edwin Monson have been serving us, and specifically, like,
Me and Jason.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, specifically like the females here, but like I just love how much freedom they're having with this and how much fun it is, and it's like glam, but it always tends towards what the theme of the episode is. So this was definitely a more steampunky machine construct episodes, and we get the little gears and just stuff like that all over my face. Which who knew that was a makeup option? I guess
Right?
I guess
looks
makeup.
so cool, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks to Cece and Edwin, but like, yeah, I don't know. I guess makeup TikTok knows that, but I'm so, I don't know, it's such an art form that I just want to shout out that I think is making the show better.
Yeah, absolutely. Like killing it all the time. Always have like great ideas, like prepared to be like, hey, like what, like really, in the way that we, costuming and all of those things are those are like skills that you learn because it ties into character and it ties into story. Like they don't, in some cases, they know more things than the cast does in order to be able to have looks to pitch for us or to just get ready.
You need
to have.
gem freckles all the time now.
Gem freckles, I didn't even know that was a thing until now.
You can glue things to your face, Jason.
I know.
You can glue things to your face.
Dan, next time.
We're gonna get some prosthetic.
Request a bird look next episode.
I do think one of the most insane, like one of the scariest things in the world is head necks.
Excuse me?
They're rednecks, but they're just heads.
One of the scariest.
Wait,
let me
follow me
let me just rephrase.
It's heads.
One of the scariest things in the world is a head neck.
Yes, it's heads. It's heads. It's a head and a neck all in one.
Okay,
on top of shoulders, the bleed. It's a bleed.
Right. Okay.
Because I was like, I think that's just how heads work.
Yeah.
No, Amy likes it when it's just a head on shoulders.
So somebody who's neckless.
Yeah, but they do have a neck. Like the
Yes.
neck is just this bleed into the shoulders. Like if you were gonna draw, it's just a
just traps
upside
all
down
day.
V.
Yeah.
Traps.
Like head necks.
like
I
something
don't
kinda
know
looks
how
like
to
a thumb.
explain it any better. There you go. Yes, like
Thumb person.
Yeah. Yes, thumb person. So just so you know, that is birds. Birds have.
Just so you know, that is birds.
That's birds.
So you're saying, as a werebird, I'm thinking it can't get any worse. Now I know it can because not only are my wings my ears, but I'm just a thumb.
Just some quick bird lore. You're a thumb person as well.
Guys, Amy, you were so fast as the DM to hit me with only bad news.
Yeah, you're a thumb that eats rocks.
Yeah, I was like, and by the way, you're now a werebird, and your tummy's full of rocks. I was like, that can't be a fact.
Look, in this moment, no, I was not prepared for you to choose a werebird, but we did say any beast is possible.
You did say that.
And so I was pulling bird facts out of my butthole and like
Your cloaca.
My
Yes.
cloaca. And
It's an all-in-one.
He does it all in one. It's a catch-all hole, and so you
You heard it here, folks. It's a catch-all hole.
I was like,
Created by
you're
the
like
Sundari.
trying to describe what you're feeling and thinking, and in my head, birds are just like must get stones for belly.
The quickness at which you hit me with that fact, I was like very, very taken off.
Now,
I
Amy,
know, you were shook.
did you know this from just as you termed bird lore?
Where'd you pull that bird lore from?
Okay, yeah, well, not from bird lore as it is known, but I do know that from Jurassic Park the book.
The movie?
The book.
Oh, good.
Oh, the book. This, book everyone's read.
They made a book of the movie?
Come on.
I hope they make a book of timeline as well, and the
It's
Andromeda
just
strain.
chock full of bird facts. The book about dinosaurs.
It is full of dinosaur facts, and when this part is in the movie, they don't explain it as well. When the Stegosaurus gets all sick and is like lying there, and Ellie like is gonna help her. The reason she's sick is because they can't figure it out because she's not eating anything poisonous, but she is swallowing rocks because dinosaurs are chickens, but she's swallowing rocks from an area that there is poisonous stuff growing from. They're just
Right.
not clocking that she's eating that in the area. The rocks themselves are surrounded by poisonous stuff. So through all of that, then I was like, oh yeah, birds. Anyway, it's in the book.
They spared one
that is in-
expense, non-poisonous rocks.
The most intense game of association I've ever heard in my life. It's bird lore, rocks and stomach, Jurassic Park, dinosaur poison.
Yeah,
it was
well,
incredible.
you tried dungeon mastering for specifically you.
That's fair. Very fair. That's very fair. I'll take that.
Oh, man. Well, not to be a rain cloud, but I do want to talk about the certified cloudy boy that attacked our
Yeah.
airship.
Yes,
Pelagius.
this is what I'm freaking talking about. So, like, I've gotten myself, y'all don't even know how many holes I've dug myself into by just going, oh, yeah, this character, this NPC, which normally in normal campaigns, you
Yeah.
just go, human, tiefling, halfling, dwarf, elf, whatever. And then in this one, I'm like, oh, air elemental, lemure, ooze, who friggin' cares? And I'm just like naming off monsters. And it is definitely, I don't want to say it's coming back to bite me, but there are decisions that need to be made. And one of them is if you're in the cloud in the sky, one specific monster that you've interacted with has access to you. Just by nature of him being an air elemental.
I love that he came back.
yes,
actually.
it was-
Yeah.
It was like really like, I don't know, it felt like rewarding to be like, oh, a character a
good.
choice we've made is coming back to bite us, you know what I mean?
It reminded me of one of my favorite video games, Final Fantasy IX, when you get on an airship for the very first time. It's this very exciting moment, but then it's like shortly thereafter, you get attacked by this character who you weren't expecting to see. And it's like very exciting, and it gave me that same feeling in a very positive way.
See, for me, it reminds me of cold calling, of someone who's just like, I'm a headhunter, and you said that you were interested in all of our great things. Or like an
Yes.
MLM where it's like, so are you going to start selling these oils?
Danielle, yes.
Yeah.
Literally, when I thought of that, I was like, "Oh, Pelagius!" It's like the MLM, and it's like your weird friend from high school who gets right back in touch with you, and is suddenly like, "Oh, you'll join? Okay, great." And then it's just like really intense about it. Like we're besties now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I thought we
I
wanted to
need
hang
something
out.
from you.
Not
Yeah.
so fast, bestie.
Yeah, like I thought we were gonna hang out, but wait, you want me to buy lipstick, but wait, you want me to be in charge of my own lipstick company? How did we get here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we took math together. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, you nailed it. That is definitely Pelagius vibes.
And also hats off to like airship combat at level
Yeah,
2.
that was
Like
super
that was
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
When we saw the airship, I was like, I really hope we get to go on one someday,
Yeah.
but probably not.
I saw that twinkle in y'all's eyes
Yes.
when you were talking with Zog right outside of Nakbreka. And it was like, anything that does that, I will say for the players, like I think I've always, Wretched Cove has always been in my mind as a geographical location, but you just want to reward that eye twinkle ASAP. And so I will say like I moved that up a little.
I have to figure out a way to twinkle more. You know what I mean? I have to eye twinkle more.
I twinkled so hard at Robot Tippy
Yes,
this episode.
Robo Tippy.
As soon as Robo Tippy came out and started doing little robot stuff, I was just like, I looked like you remember when Jared Leto was at that fashion show, and you see that look on his face when someone comes out. I think it was like Chanel or something, and he's just like. And then you see a photo of him wearing it on the red carpet like 3 weeks later or something. That's how it, like, I feel like that's what my face was doing. We were just like,
oh yeah.
And then, because I'm a little robot that does tasks. It is a very good
ears.
voice.
It was awesome to finally get Robo Tippy because like it was a spell I've known how to do since I leveled up, but it specifically says you need to find like a gemstone for it, and I was like, well, we haven't come across any of those.
Yeah.
Nor do we seek money or gems.
Nor do we understand the value.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it was cool to finally get to have Robo Tippy.
We finally got paid. We got some gemstones. We've got Robo Tippy. We've got an airship, and we've got a lot of mystery before us because we are falling headlong through a portal and jumping, in some cases purposefully, into adventure. I'm so excited to see what happens on the next episode, and we'll all find out together on a brand new episode of Sagas of Sundry Goblin Mode. However you choose to listen, watch, partake, we thank you for doing so, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.